What is going on, YouTube? Ricer Race VT coming back at you.
Wrong size.
He grabbed the wrong size.
Grabbed the wrong size bucket socket, dude.
Alright, so this is Operation OSS Day 1. We have Matt's Legacy up on jack stands. My Legacy is also on jack stand, or quick jacks with no suspension. And Matt, what are we currently doing?
We are tearing out the very garbage ISCs to replace them with some D2s.
D2 coilovers?
No. Your boy is going on air suspension. Alright, the speed. 15 mil, I think, somewhere up here.
So yeah, we are putting the D2 struts on Matt's Legacy, going with manual management and 2.5 gallon polished tank.
I can't afford anything else.
Shh. It's fine, it's fine. But yeah, he's going on manual management. We're gonna tuck it nice in a little secret spot, so it's nice and out of the way. And most importantly, so Cam won't see it. And yeah, Cam is actually going to be moving up here the weekend of the 23rd, so that'll be really neat. And then, yeah, no, we get to see his reaction to all this suspension swapping. So, Matt also had ripped out all the stuff on the inside, all the carpets and trim, all the spare tire and accessories in there. So now it'll be nice and easy to not only remove the struts, but ooh, spicy. Not only remove the struts, but be able to plan out our management. Alright, so I'm in the process of redoing Shigo's management as well, just kind of cleaning things up. I'm actually switching the tank size to the one out of the Legacy, so Matt can run the 2.5 gallon. I will run this guy. But yeah, this is second compressor harness for Shigo, and then here are all Matt's parts. Alright, so going over some of the parts that Matt acquired, we have the Bag Rider's 4-gauge power kit. Has all of the distribution blocks, fuses, and accessories you'll need to install that in the vehicle. We have Air Zenith OB2, we're familiar with that one. I do have that, or I did have that in Shigo, but now that is actually being pulled out and being replaced with the 2444s for a symmetrical setup. But since Matt's going to have a smaller tank and be using it for more air tool things, tire inflator, and the blowgun kind of stuff, then yeah, that Air Zenith is the way to go. Not only does it have, you know, the 4.25 cubic feet per minute of airflow, but it also has the 100% duty cycle. And compared to the 444s, they have, I don't actually remember the spec for the CFM, but I do know it isn't 4.25, and I also know that the duty cycle is 50% for the 444s compared to the OB2. Other parts we gotten were the Air Max single compressor isolator kit. This is going to be installed and modified to fit the Air Zenith OB2. So I will kind of show you and walk you through how to do that. It's really easy. People say it can't be done, but it actually can. So I will show you how to modify these and install them on your OB2s to make them quieter. Got one of those. We got the AN to 1/4-inch MPT adapter. That is going to be used for the compressor to the tank. A air tool and male air tool coupler. It's going to be for all the air tool accessories and things. Matt does have a triple pressure gauge gauge pod thing, so that requires 3 gauge tees. We are also going to be running manual management, so I also got some of the 1/4-inch PTC gauge tees. Relay wiring kit with fuse, part number for you. Basically, this actually might not be required for Matt's installation with the OB2 and the 4-gauge power kit, but we did get this just in case. Non-adjustable pressure switch used to set the designated cutoff for the compressor to tell it when to stop running, basically. Went with 200 psi. Again, a smaller tank, just kind of simulates a larger tank at a smaller pressure, or a lower pressure. I did have an extra electric tank drain kit, or parts for an electric tank drain kit. So we will be doing an electric tank drain on this setup as well. Make it nice and easy for Matt to not only drain his tank in the winter and just around town, but the electric tank drain will make it easier for Matt to drain the air out of his system, purge any water out, and especially in the winter when air brake antifreeze gets added, it just makes it a lot easier to empty it out of the system. Got some fresh tank mounting hardware to install the tank onto a MDF board in the trunk floor, and we got some various fittings that we may need for the install as well. Of course, we had to get our 60-foot roll of 1/4-inch airline. Did choose to go with 1/4-inch for the initial application. When I was on manual, I actually upgraded my front lines to 3/8 for the majority of the length, just to try and increase the speed and give it more of an even air out time. So we'll see how it goes in terms of an air out speed on just the 1/4-inch, but there are other ways to kind of get around that. You can add more line in your trunk and to simulate extra length, or even getting some of the flow reducers. Those will also kind of help even out your air out and air up speeds. For these struts, we have D2 front struts. These are going to be the double bellow bag. I have actually modified these and slotted them, but we are actually going to clean up those cuts and slot them a little bit more, make them even on both front struts side to side, because they were actually a little bit off in terms of the initial drill and slotting. For the rears, these are going to be sleeve bags, 2-bolt upper compared to the 3 bolts. These do not have camber plates currently, however D2 does offer and sell those. They are available through bagriders.com, so we will put a link in the description to those and any other parts and pieces we acquired through them. But D2's rears are going to be the sleeves. Last these were installed, they went nice and low, so we will see how it goes just right off the rip with no initial adjustments, and just kind of adjust from there. We've actually kept this on the wraps from basically everyone except a select handful of people, so really excited to see how everyone reacts. Ricer Aaron is actually going to be coming up for Wolfscart weekend as well, and Cam will be moved in by then, so we'll get a couple reactions at least. Trying to think. Matt actually just started at Subaru, so congratulations to Matt again, and if you guys are in the Burlington area and need any service and parts, then please, go to Burlington Subaru and ask for Matt. So as I'm sure you guys can see, I have no suspension installed. I actually ripped out all my lines, all my compressors, tank management, and then I've just kind of started mocking some stuff up for Matt's setup while he was at work. Luckily we have the same exact trunk setup, so in terms of taking out my pre-cut board and reusing that, that'll save us a bunch of time. And only running one compressor instead of 2 is very convenient as well. Matt will be doing a 4-gauge power kit just like I had, but we're going to run it a little bit nicer now that I know some little tricky secret spots in the Legacy that I've kind of learned over the years. So we will be doing the 4-gauge kit, which has distribution blocks. Those distribution blocks can go to the different accessories and things that need power and ground. It's really nice to have that in your trunk. Even Shigo has one. So, started mocking that stuff up. Again, my car has no suspension in it. Matt's now ripping his suspension out. I actually traded I put the stock wheels back on the Forester. They are just an STI factory wheel. But the Forester has gotten a little bit of love. We'll do a video about that soon, but Looking a little better.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, yeah.
We're making a fucking call to ISC.
Why?
That fucking bracket just twisted right now. I'm gonna warranty out those lower mounts. Look at that shit. It literally tore the weld open.
Oh.
Those
Whoa.
have been on there for less than a year. Literally put them on August of last year, so those are gonna get warranted
Wow.
before we put them on the Legacy.
Yeah, we'll take a bunch of pictures of that.
Yeah, because that should not come off.
In terms of warranting, like, what do you have to do?
I just have to reach out, hit them up, be like, yep, this shit broken, fix it, and then they fix it. Yeah, it's basically a hassle-free warranty, because it's lifetime. So other than that, yeah, you have to send out pictures, but you know,
It's the least of your worries.
yeah, for real.
How goes the removal? Oh, we got the strut brace off. Nice, nice. We got one strut fully out.
This
Nice.
over there, that one's also bent. I think we're gonna have to warranty both front ones.
Okay,
It's just
okay.
the sensor mount. It's nothing like crucial to the structural rigidity of that, but it's a part that I definitely want to be intact. Especially because those things are expensive to replace and are important. Especially the wheel speed sensor and you know, your brake line holder. It's kind of important. So I just want to make sure that all that's good for when it goes on the wide body. I'm always confused as to which one's which, because the aftermarket white line ones are 18s, sometimes they're 19s. I don't remember, and then my brake caliper bolts are 18 mils. So I'm always confused when I work on this because all the slew of aftermarket parts strays from all the stock Subaru sizes. So it makes it kind of fun to try and play socket roulette. Like that one, that one's an 18, I actually need a 19. We're gonna find this. This is a 18, and that's not gonna fit. Where's my, it's a 15. All right, now I gotta go to the toolbox. Get the cheater bar. That's pretty well jammed up against that, so that's gonna rotate. Hammer.
We have technology. We have technology.
With it fits of chips.
Good enough for government work. And alright, come on, motherfucker. I have to rotate it a little bit, probably.
Good old candy bowl.
15 is 15. I have that in 1/2 inch. Like I said, socket roulette. It's always fun. I do have a hammer over there. Did I forget something? I don't think so.
Is it moving?
Kind of. pig. Like it was a fucking cop that drove by. It's fine. What the fuck?
Try putting this on the and get this the bolt like around it.
What do you mean? Like,
This side.
let me loosen up the top hat bolts. Or not the top hat bolts, the fucking mount bolts here.
Yo, Rob,
Yo.
do you have any more 3M tape?
Do you have the 3/8 one? Are you using the 3/8?
I'm using the big one. Here's the big. Very low.
3M tape? There should be a little bit. You see the the tray that's for my fucking.
Oh, yeah.
There's like probably about 8 inches, 9 inches of it.
Yeah, I just need enough for this little
Yeah,
cabinet.
go for it. That's fine good shit.
That's on my list of shit I gotta get.
You should be able to manipulate the strut now.
I have a magnetic drive
Yeah, I'll take pictures of this and we'll warranty out those fucking lower mounts that I see before I ship them to you. I mean, even if I don't think anything will go wrong with them.
I don't really care that much to be honest, but you might as well take pictures while they're out.
Plus, we can keep the lower mounts. I don't know. Alright, I'm just working on the last top hat bolt here. Alright, the fucking last that's gonna fall out maybe. That way you can. Oh fuck. There we go. Try and fuck with it that way. Dude, this fucking pillow bulb is fucking jacked. Alright. I mean, I'm certain it's supposed to look that way, but look at that. Fucking twisted. Pop this bad boy out. Look at that. Nice and charred. But I guess find out how bad these. So these are the socks, right? Coilover socks. And the last ones were really nice underneath when I pulled these off. I don't know how well these are going to do because, you know, you can kind of see the exposed threads there. But definitely going to be better than nothing. These springs were like perfectly green, and look at that. Nice, perfectly green. Some sediment in there, but, you know, we got only a little bit of surface rest on the threads. And right below the collars, nice and clean threads, so those should be easy to readjust for when they go on Wide Body Legacy. Hell yeah, so that's 2 out of 4. Two more zip ties. These are just held on by zip ties and Velcro. It's kind of goofy, but it works. Alright, there we go. Got both of them off. Put those in a easy to reach location so I can throw them away. So we don't stab our tires with them. Because tires are expensive. Look at the amount of dirt coming off that. Look at that. Fresh. All the usable, or the necessary thread is nice and clean. And you can see how nice they are. Also see that I ripped my pants earlier. But like, this is on the outside of the coil. I'm touching the inside and there's no, like, look at how dirty that is. But there's none of that dirt present on the spring or any of the threads that are necessary for adjustment. I'm going to put this in a safe spot so I don't lose it, much like the rest of the whole kit on the front. Only 3 bolts, but I loaded these bitches up with anti-seize before I put them in, so if they don't come out, I'm gonna be really pissed. But we'll see. Alright. Should be 19s. It's 18.
Top nuts are done.
Okay. Okay, so they are free from the bushing there, which is good. I lubed them up enough when I installed these last year. So it's not going to be a pain. It's not going to tear the bushing out like I did with the Megan Racings when I deconstructed those, which is nice. That was a pain. I actually had to reuse the old bolts after cutting the metal sleeves off. That was not a fun day. So this should actually spin off now. Just have to knock this one free with my hammer, and if I can get it in there. Probably will have to pry it while spinning it, which is not uncommon for these size.
There we go. Killed them squeeto.
Thank you. Go. So the threads are biting on something there. These are also brand new lower strut mount rear mount bolts, so these are fresh from when I installed them. They're nice and easy, way easier than they would be if I was pulling out old bolts, which I highly recommend you do if you ever plan on doing any sort of suspension work. Just replace your hardware, make it easier for the next guy. Either that or make it easier for yourself when you install D2s. I don't know, it's up to you.
How much did you spend on all your hardware and stuff?
So for the new lower control arms for the front, it was about 40 bucks shipped, and then for the rears it was probably about the same. But if you buy all of it at the same time, you'll save money on shipping. So I'd say probably about $60 to $70 on brand new hardware all around, and that is way less of a pain in the ass than if you had to reuse your hardware, which is likely rusted, seized, or just overall in bad shape. And honestly, I just don't trust hardware that's like that, and I'd rather make it easier for myself. So just make it easier on yourself. Get new hardware. Don't save yourself the money, save yourself the time, because time is money. The less time you have to spend on it, the better. So I have a feeling once this pops out, it's going to drop this arm here. Let's see how that goes. Also, as much as it sucks to get it on your hands, anti-seize, please. It's so worth it. Don't put it on your threads. Just put it in where the
I'm
bush.
very anti-team anti-seize.
You know, you can screw yourself, Rob. I love anti-seize because if I hadn't done, or if Johnny had fucking done that, all right, that's a really weird angle. If Johnny had put anti-seize on these when he installed those Megans, I wouldn't have had such a big fucking problem pulling them out. Because the bushing wouldn't have seized. Oh, hey, there we go. That works. Nice and easy. Yeah, you can see, because this shock in the rear is blown, you can see where the grease is just completely caked on there. All right, and we're gonna set this aside. You can see nice and clean bolts. Imagine that. Got anti-seize on it. It's crazy. I know, it's such a foreign concept to these guys.
Every time I pull out a fresh hoodie, it doesn't matter what I'm working on. I'll be working on whatever. And I will instantly, within 5 minutes of working on whatever, ruin said hoodie. It's just really, I've lost so many hoodies to anti-seize.
R.I.P. All I can say is...
Rip to the good hoodies.
I enjoy the time I save pulling old shit out when it's got anti-seize on it. Where's my stabby thing? That we just uncovered too. These were the rears that we popped open. These actually stayed way cleaner because, you know, there's covering on the threads that are actually useful. So I'll just pop those off. See how nicely those were kept. I mean, there's a ton of grease in there from the blown shock themselves. So yeah, we'll see how toasted that is. But
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. All right, one more.
All right, last corner getting started. How's that one coming out?
Nicely. Just kind of popping it loose here. I gotta swap this the other side here. Highly recommend it, even if Rob doesn't. In this situation, it's actually not a bad idea. You're not putting it on the
To be fair, I don't drive my cars, nor do I drive them in the winter.
Yes, this has gone through one New York winter on the exact current setup it's on, which was about 14,000 miles total. So if you ever want an idea of how to take care of your car during the winter, especially if you modify it like mine,
And live in the Northeast.
and you live in the Northeast, highly recommend coilover covers, anti-seize on, you know, everything that's within a bushing or a metal sleeve. That way it slides in there when you have to service it like this. That way you don't have to struggle. Now, anti-seize on just about every bolt that I have installed, except for lugs, because I take my lugs off, or I take my wheels off often enough to not require it. These are ARP studs, so they're corrosion resistant. So just little things like that. Just choose the right parts. Don't skimp out, don't cheap out. Certain things you can, but certain things you should not. And definitely take care to make sure that that's all set. All right, so it's rotating. I'm just too weak to be able to pull it from this way angle.
How goes it?
All right, we're almost done with that bolt. I'm just gonna loosen the top, and then that should drop pretty much right out. Is the 12 milli?
Top is a 15.
Oh, it's a 15?
It is a 15.
What?
Yep. They're huge.
Huge. Those are 15s?
Yep.
No.
I just took those two off.
Bro, you're capping these are 14s?
They possibly are 14s. Alright, Matt's got the 14. Getting those last two top hat nuts off.
It's either deep well, you got way too short of a socket, or way too long of a socket, or something in between, but it's never the right size. That's what she said. Babe, just use your fingers. It's not lost forever. And because these are in the interior of the car, they're not corroded at all. So thank God for that. Alrighty, last bit. I broke my watch. Just kidding. Last bit is underneath here. We have the, it's 18, there's a 19, there's a 19. And you are gonna go, where is it? There it is. Loosening. Should fall out just like the other one. Hopefully not clock me in the temple. That is out. All right, number 4.
All coils are removed. Look at that smile.
Oh, thank God. And just for showing off the effectiveness of these things, I absolutely love these. I would literally never go without them now that I've used them. Chuck those over there. Get the extra long zip ties when you put these on, if they don't come with them. ISC ones are supplied with 1 set per. Look at how clean that is. Look at how clean that is. Covered in oil because the shock is blown rear, much like the other one. But we're doing okay. There we go. All 4 are out. My car is completely immobile and it's blocking in half the driveway. Actually, most of the driveway. Literally all of the driveway.
It's fine. Half of the things are broken.
That one's broken. That one's immobile. That one works. You could, if we took down the fence, it'd be okay, but